Welcome to the podcast, Kill Complacency. Here we inspire intentional living by motivating others to handle hard better. And here's your host, Marty Hofmann.
Today's guest is Jon Bloodworth. He is the manager of NSU, which is Northeastern State University Fitness. And he has a ton of advice on being healthier and nutrition and mindset and all that. But the first episode here that we talked about, we actually talked a lot about his why and what changed in his life that led to him honestly managing a gym at this point. And the mindset shift that he had to go through, watching his father struggle and all that. So really good stuff. I'm glad he figured it out early. And I hope you guys will listen to this and really think about your why for being more intentional and killing complacency, as it's so pivotal to all that we do. This is a fellow runner of mine. I've seen him at a couple races. My wife did, but I've seen him around, and we follow him on Facebook, actually. Jon Bloodworth. He's from Tahlequah. Are you in Tahlequah, or that's just what you claim?
I'm in Tahlequah right now.
Yep.
Yes.
So Tahlequah, Oklahoma, and super intentional, super passionate about helping people live a more fulfilled, intentional life. And so I asked him to come on the show today to kind of share his passion and all that. But Jon, have you always been as intentional as you are now?
Absolutely not. You and I spoke a little bit before we started recording, and I definitely want to get that message out there that I am the first in my family to be in any type of shape, or to be physically fit, honestly, to be mentally fit, or to at least, let's just say, like your message, to be intentional about these things, because my family is nothing but a history of chronic illness, from mental illness to diabetes to my father passed away from diabetes, and I was talking to you about how I'm in a role right now to where my job, my message is to get people in shape and to help people to prevent things like that. And yet I watched the person that is closest to me pass away from something like that. And it's very frustrating. But and as much as I love my father, I refer to him a lot as a reverse role model, because I saw what he did with his life. And I was like, man, I love that man, and he taught me lots of great things. However, he was very unintentional with what he wanted to do in his life. And from that, I was like, I can't be that way. I have to change. I have to force myself to get into this. And man, like I have a brother who is almost the polar opposite of me. He's very unhealthy. He's not very financially stable. He's not much of a contributor to society. That's tough to talk about, a family member like that. And I often wonder, how did he zig and I managed to zag? Because we ended up in completely opposite places. And I feel
same environment.
very fortunate. I feel super fortunate to have made that decision. I don't know who was looking out for me to guide me in the right direction. And I try to help my brother to this day as much as possible. But man, no, I am still kind of navigating my bloodline, my family, as being the only fit person in the whole thing. So definitely not my whole life. Yeah.
Tell me, Jon, when did that change for you?
Man, I never touched a weight until I graduated high school. So like high school, I just went through, I was a decent high school student. I had no real crazy experiences there. Never played a single sport, never touched a weight, never did any of that stuff. And then after graduating high school, I had a buddy, and he was like, hey, you want to come to the gym with me? And I'm like, okay, like the gym to me was like PE, like wiffle ball or something, right? And like we go, and I remember doing bench press for the first time in my life and leaving the gym that day, not being able to, like, I had long hair. I couldn't like put my hair behind my ears because I couldn't reach my head. My arms were so sore. And from there, I would just tag along with him and kind of learn as I went. And throughout the years, I developed some relationships with people that were, prioritized that. And that's kind of the key, right? If you don't know what to do, you need to start seeking out people that are making the crazy new things you want to try. Seek out people that make them look normal and spend more time with them. And before you know it, you'll be doing that crazy stuff too, and it'll be normal to you. So that's kind of how it went, man. It's just snowballed throughout the years, and here I am now.
Yeah, we are the sum of the 5 people we hang out with. So
Absolutely.
you're going to be number 6.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
So what changed for you, Jon? What and when? I mean, how did you stop the cycle?
Man, so just watching my father kind of just digress into diabetes and unhealthiness. And I mean, this is a guy that was a Marine, like he was in the military, he was a Marine. So he's in crazy good shape when I was very young. And then, he retired from the military. He got his job that he then eventually retired from. He was a hunter, he was a fisherman, outdoorsman, and he instilled a love for all that in me. But once he kind of let his poor diet and lack of exercise catch up to him, and he started developing, diabetes and these things, and it slowed him down. All he did was talk about all that stuff he wanted to do. And I watched him just wither away. And like when he's like, oh, I'm going to go hunting this year. And I'm like, yeah, you should. And then I'm like, but he's not going to. I know he's not going to. Yeah. And it was so frustrating to me. And that's why I say they're like reverse role models, man. I watched it. I see aunts and uncles and cousins and other family members and even the people around me. Like I watched them struggle to go up and down stairs. And something in me was just like, I can't be that person. I can't. I have to set an example for my family and for the people that depend on me to never be that type of person who won't just get out there and do the things they say they're going to do.
Yeah. Have you heard of a guy named Benjamin Hardy? He's got some books. He's a psychologist.
I don't guess so, no.
He's got one book called Be Your Future Self Now, but another one called Personality Isn't Permanent. But it's, to your point about your dad, it makes me think a lot about that. Mm-hmm. He talks about when you don't want to change, you're always living in the past because the past were the glory days. Yes. But if you are seeking to be your future self now, you're looking at the future. And then personality isn't permanent. You're not stuck to your limitations from the past or even your present, but you're changing you're literally changing your personality by pursuing the future. So
right. I love it's that. Interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because you'll see it with people even with their hairdos. People will. I remember another author talking about that wherever most success person felt in life, that's the kind of hair they'll have. You see these ladies with big poofy hairs. Well, they were successful in the 80s,
Yes. Yeah.
And that was when they emulated it. But it's not, they're focused so much on the past that their future self is so small.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. I talk a lot to people about like they're obsessing over the past, or they're like super anxious and paranoid about the future, and they're completely undervaluing the right now. Yeah. Like they're not just doing. Like there's nothing that causes more anxiety than being like an ambitious person who then just doesn't execute. Like I know some very ambitious people. I actually have some, here right outside my office that are just like, they have so many ideas. Oh, ideas. And they're chock full of energy, but they never execute on them. They just talk about them. And I'm like, there's nothing that gives you more anxiety than not just executing. So the people undervalue the right here, right now. And it's frustrating at times. Yeah.
So your biggest sounds to me like your biggest reason why you wanted to change was just looking at those around you. Is that right? Just
absolutely. I want to create a better environment for other people, for their family. I never want anyone to, and it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen because it's kind of the inevitability of life, but I want as few people as possible to have to hold their loved one's hand as they pass away, at least from something as just devastating as like me. Like I held my father's hand as he passed away from a withering away, completely preventable illness. And man, that's devastating, man. And I don't want people to have to do that anymore. I don't want them to have to watch their loved ones suffer. I don't want people to not get down on the floor and play with their kids, or not take that trip to Disney World because you can't walk enough steps to take care of your kids and stuff. Like that's so frustrating to me. And I want to help people realize there's a better way to live out there, for sure.
My wife does a little bit of coaching, and I didn't even, this wasn't on my radar at all, but she talks about for some women and probably men too, but they won't travel because they're too worried about the airplane seat, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, that's a real fear, a real struggle for people, but
Yes.
so you can fix
Yes.
that.
I mean, yesterday, so I'm at the gym that I direct here, and yesterday our elevator, we have 2 stories, and our elevator was out, and a customer was very frustrated that she was having to take the stairs. Now, this is a person, she didn't have a disability or anything. She was just very heavy set, and it was difficult for her. And, you know, I apologized greatly to her. I could tell from the way that she was arguing that her desire was to potentially get something for free, like maybe we give her a free month or something. So I picked up on that, and I did offer her something for free. I offered her 2 weeks of free one-on-one personal training with me, and she would not take it. She did not want to do that. And I'm like, I did everything but say, in 2 weeks, I'll have you way less afraid of that staircase. Like, that's what I wanted to say, but I have to toe the line between being, you know, the boss and stuff and whatever. But man, so I spent the last decade as a personal trainer. I don't do that anymore. I'm the director here. I control the other personal trainers, but I was like, I'll train you myself. No additional cost, no nothing. I'll do it my time here. And she's like, I don't want that. I don't need a personal trainer. I just need to get upstairs, you know? And I was like, well, you know, I can only make it as easy as possible, right? Eventually you have to actually do the work. But like you said, I don't want you to be afraid to buy an airplane ticket because of the seat. Like, come on, man. I don't want you to not be able to escape a building because you can't take the stairs. Like, come on, man. Let's make life a little bit easier by doing a little bit of that hard work right now.
Yeah. When did you start working at the gym?
So
how did that go down in your mind? How was that?
Okay.
How did you, were you always a gym guy, or was there something then you were just like, the best environments for me, the gym?
Ever since that, you know, that post high school kind of in and out of the gym, surrounding myself with more people that made it normal. Like, I did that. So just throughout the years, I've gone to the gym, right? And then eventually, funny, you develop that where other people are like, oh, that's the dude that's always in the gym. And I'm like, really? Like me? Like I had to be dragged there by other friends, but now I'm the guy that's always in the gym, and I'm dragging other people there. And so that just happened for years and years. And I actually worked at a grocery store. I worked at Reese's, if y'all know Reese's, but like, I worked for 13 years, right? Like over a decade, I just thought I was going to be the manager of a grocery store. And what happened was I started training people just for fun with no certifications, no knowledge other than just what I had developed from being in the gym. And these people are offering me money, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not like a trainer. I'm just like, I can't do that. And, you know, every once in a while I'd let them buy me stuff like, oh yeah, if you'll buy me my protein, I'll train you, whatever. And eventually what happened in 2018, my predecessor, the person that had this position before me, really great guy that I'm still friends with to this day, he said, hey, we have a coaching opportunity for group fitness classes at the gym. And would you be interested? And I'm like, man, like I'm not certified or anything like that. And he said, I'd love to, you know, give you a tryout, and then you can work on your certification and start working here at the same time. And so gave me a tryout.
Were you just a customer of his at that time?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I had developed a friendship with him just from being around, and he had kind of picked up on my story and I guess used that as an interview more or less. You know, it took a couple years before he made that offer, but I started coaching the classes here. And if you follow me, you see, it's called Fit Ranks. Like we talk about it all the time on there, and started coaching for Fit Ranks, got certified personal trainer, certified strength coach, certified nutritionist, and all that stuff taken care of. I just started landsliding all of that while I'm still working at the grocery store. And eventually I was just like, could that be a full-time job? I was like, could I turn that into a full-time job? And my friend, his name's Aaron, he said, I will hire you as an independent contractor, meaning you pick up your clients, you use our facility, you train them, you pay us, rent to use our facility, blah, blah, blah. And I started doing that at night. And eventually I was like, I could be a lot better at this if it was the only thing I did all day long. Like I couldn't devote the attention I wanted to it. So I had a very serious conversation with my wife. And I said, look, I got a full-time job with benefits and retirement and all this stuff. I want to quit. And I want to go train people as an independent contractor. And she was like, cool, let's do it.
That's awesome.
And I mean, I will forever say thank you to Brittany, my wife, because she carried us I went from making, what I thought was great money, which is like $40K a year at a grocery store, to making $6,000 a year as a personal trainer in the first year. But man, once I was really able to just dive into it, it just started clicking so well. And I got more certifications. I had so many clients. And then before I knew it, Aaron, my buddy, is just like introducing me as the head trainer. And I'm like, when did that happen? When am I head trainer? What does that mean? What was that? He's like, well, you're just the one that's been here the longest and apparently is the most successful. And I'm like, when did that happen? Wow. And I stayed here for doing just that for about 6 years or so, like just doing nothing but the training. And then my buddy Aaron actually moved on to a different position in a different gym. And this job came open and I applied for it. And lo and behold, here I am sitting here as ultimately, man, I said I never wanted to sit at a desk again as I sit here at this desk. And the thing was, I was so confident in my skills as a personal trainer and a motivator that I was like, wait a minute, if I have this desk, I get to coach the other trainers. And I was like, sign me up. Like, I believe in my methodology. I believe in my modalities and stuff. And I believe in the coaches, and I believe I can make them better people. And I think that I've done a pretty good job here, honestly. Yeah. And I love them, man. I love my team. I love my staff. I'm so happy with them. So that's kind of how it happened, man. That's long story short, I guess. Like I just stuck here for the last 6 years or so. And here I am. Yeah.
That's cool. Talk to me, Jon, about, I want to talk about 3 things.
Okay.
I want to talk about nutrition in regards to fitness. I want to talk about nutrition, mindset, and exercise, because you really need all 3, right?
Absolutely.
So which is mindset the first thing that you got to have? You got to have that mindset shift.
Oh man, I think that they are all reciprocal, right? You can only make so much progress in one of those before you kind of stalemate, and you have to maybe jump into one of the other ones. And then when you get there, it'll boost you along that journey too, which is exactly how I described people who asked me, why are you going to run 100 miles? Like last year I ran 100 miles and they were like, why would you ever do that? And I was like, look, I am so overly confident in my physical capabilities. To the point to where I'm like, I rarely get challenged in physical fitness. And I'm so confident in my physical ability, but here's what I'm not confident in. I am not confident in my emotional, like my vulnerability and stuff. I'm not very confident in my ability to express things. I'm not very confident in my, I don't know, I guess mindset, in a way is a way to sum that all up. And I was like, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fly. I was like, I'm going to fly to Hawaii, but I'm going to go from California to New York and around the world through Europe to get to Hawaii instead of just going across the ocean, because I'm going to run 100 miles to force myself to live inside my brain a little bit. And that's how I told people, like, I didn't know how to level up my mindset anymore. So I had to do something crazy hard. But man, when you set goals, this is what, like when you talk about nutrition and stuff, you have to decide what you want. And sometimes that's tough. Sometimes you have to actually just get out there and start doing things before you even know truly what you want. But man, like if you're talking about being healthy and being fit, then nutrition is number one. Okay. Like what you eat is the most important thing. If you just ate properly and went for walks every day, you can never set foot in a gym. Working out is whatever. If you want to do it, that's great. You got to work out if you want to be a bodybuilder in a competition, or a CrossFitter, or a power lifter, or an ultra marathon runner. You got to go train. But if you just want to be a healthy human being, man, eat the right foods and get some movement, whether that's walking or Pilates or yoga or fetch with the dog or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So nutrition, so important. And mindset comes in when you start to negotiate with yourself, like, I can take today off. And, maybe every once in a while that's true. But when you take 2 days off in a row, it starts. So like doing these ultra marathons, right? My team and I, we say this all the time when we're out there. We're like, man, okay, I'm very tired. I got to walk for a little bit. And then you find out the more you walk, the more you want to walk. So you have
Compound
to force
effect.
yourself to start running again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, you just got to get out there and do it. And that's mindset just comes down to be sure if you wake up today and everything in your head is screaming, I'm not going to work out today. That's the most important day to go work out. It's the most important day to work out because you never feel worse for having done it ever. So,
have you read Jocko's book, Discipline Equals Freedom?
I have not read Discipline Equals Freedom. I've read his other one. I'm sorry. I can't remember what it's called right now. But I know John. I'm very familiar with Jocko. Very familiar with Jocko, yeah.
John, you would love
yeah.
Discipline Equals Freedom. What it is it's a bunch of short little stories. But he talks about the only thing you should procrastinate on is procrastination.
Right.
And he talks about it specifically in regards to what you just said, exercise. Like you want to take the day off? Well, take it off tomorrow.
Yep.
And see if you still want to take it off.
Absolutely. So, I'll read it. I guarantee. I love Jocko. I listen to him a lot as podcasts and stuff as well. So I'll definitely read that one for sure.
That's a really good one. How many marathons have you ran? You mostly do ultras?
I mostly do ultras. I've actually to this day never entered and done a regular marathon. That's never happened. I've done some half marathons and of course 5Ks and whatnot. But this past Saturday, we're speaking today on a Tuesday. Saturday, I ran my 5th ultra marathon. It was a 50K, so 33-ish miles or so.
Dark and dirty, right?
Dark and dirty. Yep. That overnight. So it was a night run. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a fascinating experience as well. So
tell me before we get into that, because that's on my notes.
Sure.
What did you go from? You went from a half marathon to a 100-miler?
Yeah. So this year, so the furthest I had ever ran was the half marathons. I ran a couple half marathons. Bentonville, Oklahoma has a nice one that I like to do and stuff. And Route 66 in Tulsa has one. But so here in Tahlequah, we have an event called Pumpkin Holler. And I don't even know how that came across my radar, but I saw it and I saw that it had an odd 10-mile distance. I was like, oh, that's not a half marathon or a marathon. 10 miles, it has a plethora of distances, but the 10-miler was the shortest one. And I got a team together of our Fit Ranks crew and my friends. I think we had like 15 or 20 people. We got matching shirts and we all went out there and ran 10 miles and didn't really know what to expect. Didn't know what running on a gravel road was like. Didn't know about crazy hills or aid stations that are like not just, a road marathon has aid stations with like cups of water and Gatorade. These are aid stations with like food. And I'm like, what is going on? And man, I'm just there. And as we're there doing the 10-miler, finishing up, people are offering me beer. I'm like, what's going on here? And then I see people coming in. They're like, oh, that's one of the 100-mile runners. He's getting back from his first loop. And I'm like, oh, what? How long is a loop? And they're like, oh, the first loop is like 40 miles. And I'm like, that's crazy. Are you kidding? Everything that people say about me now, I said about them, of course. And I went on a vacation. I went to California, went to Universal Studios and stuff. And me and my buddy are sitting in a hotel room and we're discussing about doing crazy, there's this Japanese concept called the Misogi, which is like you do one big crazy event a year to like define your year. And we had just kind of started reading about that and we were like, man, we should do something crazy too. And then I had said there's that 100-mile run like in October. I was like, oh man, could you imagine running 100 miles? And I swear we sat there for 15 minutes joking about it and then both signed up on our phones. And I'm like, okay, the furthest I've ever ran is a half marathon. I did 10 miles at the site of the 100-miler last year. and now I'm going to go straight to 100 miles. I remember going to the training runs and people going, oh, what are you running? And I'd be like, oh, the 100 miles. And they're like, oh, what'd you run last year? And I'm like, 10 miles. And they're like, you just jumping up 90 miles, huh? And I was like, I guess so. And I don't know, man. It was just let's do something incredibly crazy that I will have to devote, because I signed up in like the tail end of October in 2022, and the race was in October of 2023. So I gave myself a year of like, it's on the calendar. It's on the calendar. You have to devote every day to getting ready for this. You have no excuses. And there you go. I mean, we spent the next year training for this race.
I feel like, Jon, there's another storyline there just for the environment. Like you were exposed to a 100-miler.
Yes.
Because you're at a 10-miler.
Yes.
And the environment we're around greatly affects, our stuff.
Without a doubt. That's right back to that. Like if you don't understand how to change the place that you're at right now, then you got to put yourself in a different place. It sounds so simple, but I know it's hard because people struggle to do it. But if you can just take that first step, that's why I see an overweight, out of shape person in this gym. I know how much courage it took to walk in the door.
Yes.
Because I used to be there. I know exactly what it took. I see an elderly person working out next to a 22-year-old college student. I know the freaking like confidence that it takes to do that and stuff, or that you need to, and that's how you get confidence, is you just constantly put yourself in those situations until it becomes normal. But man, you're right. Environment is crucial to transformation. Absolutely.
Hey, just wanted to thank you guys for listening to the end. In closing, I just wanted to add that if this message resonates with you, if it aligns with your values, and something in it today triggered something, then you can also look me up on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. We are really trying to help people live more intentional lives, to kill the complacency with which they have subscribed to. I know there's many ways which I get sucked in all the time. So if this is beneficial, follow me there, spread the message, share. And if you want to wear a billboard of a message of kill complacency or live intentionally, then check out my merch store in show notes as well. But it's www.mindsetshop.com. Mindset is with an X, so it's MINDXET shop, SHOP.com, mindsetshop.com. Check it out. Thank you guys so much, and have a great one.
Thank you for listening to Kill Complacency. Follow and share our podcast to change lives and inspire growth.